I'm going to be totally and utterly honest with you. I'm going to say to you, the moment you see this fragrance, not only are you going to judge the fragrance, you're going to judge me as well. You're going to say things like, Leggy, why that one? What were you thinking? Why didn't you buy Hassivat or Granny or Thousand Islands or all the other ones I can't remember? If you're going to have a fragrance from the house of Nishane, why that one? Okay, I'm going to be perfectly upfront with you and say, I'm not a mainstream kind of guy. I mean, how many people reviewing fragrances put 3D glasses on to make the review seem more realistic? Okay. No, joking apart, I'm not a mainstream kind of guy. Yes, I have a collection which is bulging with designer fragrances. You know, literally is teeming with so many hundreds of designer fragrances, and I love them, I wear them, I rate them, I get fantastic results. But you know, my passion, seriously, is those fragrances which are off the beaten track. You know, if I hear that something is hyped or something is popular, it's a turn off for me, and I'm looking for something a little bit different, maybe a little bit wacky, something a little bit challenging, and something which maybe nobody else wears. First of all though, a massive warm welcome to a John Legg fragrance review. You are so welcome here at this channel, and if you send me a comment or a question, I will get back to you personally. That is my Leggy guarantee. And I'm not to be monetized, I'm not making money out of YouTube. In fact, I'd like you to see me as your friend, not someone who's a professional, someone who is your friend. And I'd also love you to see me as an annoying post-it note by your front door. And on that post-it note it says, wear a good fragrance before you leave the house. You know, that's what I'd love you to see me as, an annoying post-it note. The guy who always says you've got to wear a good fragrance. You know, whether you're going out to walk the dog, wash the car, go to the shops, do your place of worship, whether you're going to work, whatever you are doing, you've got to please put a good fragrance on. Keep that smile. Where were we? Oh yeah, I haven't shown you this fragrance, but you are going to judge it. You're going to say, Leggy, what were you thinking? Well, let's get it. Okay. So it is TUBEROZA by Nishane or Nishane. I don't know how you want to say it. I'm going to spray it, and then I'm going to attempt to tell you about this very bizarre fragrance. This fragrance is not for everyone. In fact, it's probably, if I'm honest with you, it is probably the most niche fragrance that I have in my collection. It has a lot of things about it which would just kind of turn the majority of people off. Alright, let's talk about the unisex thing first of all. I've got a few things to talk about and get off my chest and try and help you to understand this fragrance. But the first thing I've got to say is, please, this is not a blind buy. I'm going to try and help you to understand it so that maybe you would go and sample it, not just buy it, please. Okay, the unisex thing. This fragrance is marketed and sold as unisex. But let me tell you, the crazy thing is, when I first smelt it, I thought, do you know what? That's bang down the line unisex, because it's not sweet, florally, girly sort of fragrance. It's at the other end. It's kind of a bitter green sort of fragrance. It's kind of like a slightly weird and slightly challenging sort of fragrance. And let me tell you, all of the females that I have sprayed this for just go, no, Leggy, I don't really want to wear that myself. Let me tell you, the more I have worn this incredible fragrance, the more I say it's very, very unisex, almost with a masculine lean. Alright. I'm going to say to you, 95% of guys though, upon smelling this tuberosa, they wouldn't just say no, you wouldn't hear the no because they'd have run. Okay, because it does initially come across as a very floral, feminine leaning fragrance. Okay. When you actually really get to grips with this fragrance, when you understand it, when you've worn it several times and you've kind of let it live and dwell on your skin, you realise that it is not a feminine fragrance. It isn't. I would recommend it for a woman if they wanted to wear it with caution, but it is not anything that maybe an under 25-year-old woman could wear. I would still say please sample this one first as a woman wearing or considering wearing this. I would also say the same with a guy. Please sample this one first. I get it, I understand it, and I see it as having a slight masculine lean because it's not sweet. Yes, there is a hint of sweetness, but it's the bitter greenness that dominates this. Okay. That's the unisex bit dealt with. The next bit, let me try and tell you about the performance. You know, I've worn this loads of times and I've tried to come up with the best way to describe the performance. The performance is evil continually. It's evil in its performance. Alright. Let me tell you, if you went to a shop selling this and thought, I'll sample it, you get the tester and you spray it on your skin, this is exactly what would happen. You'd sort of smell it, you'd think, you'd keep going back. It doesn't really change that much, and we'll talk about how it does change slightly over the time you're wearing it. And if after a while you decided you didn't like this fragrance, it wasn't for you, you would literally have to go and get some sandpaper and take the top layer off your skin, because this stuff bonds with your skin. It literally sort of clutches down into the skin follicles or whatever they're called, and it becomes part of your skin. For the full day and the next day, this stuff goes through showers, and for 2 days it is a skin scent. Okay. This fragrance almost mocks you, because you go through the shower and okay, you haven't actually scrubbed that spot, and as you're drying yourself you're thinking, I can still smell it, and it's almost there going, yeah, I'm still here. And if you dare to think, well, I'm going to wear a different fragrance after my shower, this stuff seriously just goes, try it. And you put another fragrance on, and seriously about 5 minutes later this stuff is coming through. Its performance is evil continually. Projection. I'm going to be honest with you. You as the wearer, it sets up an impenetrable scent bubble. About 1/2 metre round you, this scent bubble. And whether you like it or not, you are in that scent bubble for a minimum of 10 hours. Minimum of 10 hours. It doesn't project wildly, but what happens, and this is really weird, I actually have this fragrance on from earlier, right, I've got it on my neck, and as I'm sort of moving forward and backwards, I constantly am breaking in and out of my scent bubble, and all I can smell is tuberosa. This stuff is an incredibly evil performance. And I say, if you change your mind and think, I want to wear something different, this just goes, no, You're not. You can put something over the top, but I'm going to come through. Right, get it on clothes, and it is on those clothes forever. Seriously, if I've got like a thermal vest and I made the mistake of putting this on my neck, got some on the thermal vest, and obviously the thermal vest gets washed every now and then, I put it on, and if I try and wear another fragrance while I've got that thermal vest on that I've worn this with, it's too bad, because this stuff is coming through the fragrance that I've just put on my neck. This stuff is evil. Okay, projection. It doesn't project wildly, but it constantly, you are leaving a trail behind you for at least 10 hours. Alright, I think I've probably said enough about the performance. It sort of bonds into your skin, and it's not wild projection, but your scent bubble is where you inhabit this fragrance. Seriously, like it or not, this scent bubble, you cannot escape this fragrance. For a solid 10 hours, there is no point at which you cannot smell this fragrance. Okay, you've said enough about the performance. Okay, what about the smell? Okay, this is where it gets a bit sort of serious. Alright, I need to talk to you about the stages of a banana. Yes, a banana. A banana comes off the tree and it's sort of dark green. And then that banana goes through several phases as it sort of ripens. It goes from dark green to pale green to a little bit of yellow to bright yellow to yellow with brown spots, lots of brown spots, to black to bean. That is the stages of a banana. And you know what? As that banana ripens, it also becomes sweeter and more edible. Where does this sit in the stages of banana? Because it does have a weird banana sort of smell. That's the tuberose, I believe, but it comes across as banana. The banana stage, which this is at, is the green stage. Right back at the green stage. All right, now, if you get a banana and it's dark green, realistically, it should have been on the tree for a little bit longer. Alright, you've probably tried this. If you try and peel a rich green banana, it kind of screams. As you pull the skin down, it creaks and it screams, and what it's basically saying is, no, not yet, not yet. This fragrance smells like a green banana being peeled. That sort of bitter, not very sweet banana kind of vibe. Am I selling it to you? Okay, stay with me. So there is a ton of tuberose, obviously, in here, but there's some other florals. And the other floral that kind of is a big player, I think, is the marigold, which is kind of like a really tangy floral. Alright, let's be perfectly honest. There is nothing really sweet about this. It sort of sits down at the sort of bitter green end of a kind of fragrance. Is it challenging to wear? I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, it is initially. But once you, well, first of all, you become so admirable of its performance, because it is absolutely relentless. This scent bubble, seriously, all I can smell, and I've had this on my neck for about 4 hours, and as I'm moving forwards and backwards, that's all I'm getting. I can smell obviously the fresh coming off my arm. This is absolutely crazy good performance. Okay. So it's like a sort of a slightly green banana vibe. It's got the marigold in there, which is a sort of a tangy, sharp floral. And then it's got some other white florals, but there is also a bit of orange. Now, over the 10 hours plus that this lasts on you as a scent bubble, okay, what happens is it doesn't, like a Mancera, go through phases of, say, cherry and then vanilla and then musk. But that's the other thing. This has got musk in, and as soon as you hear musk, you go, nah. This is not very musky. The musk sits there very well behaved. It's not a screechy kind of musk. It's not an in-your-face kind of musk. The musk just sort of lets the florals just sort of bounce up and down on the musk, if that makes any kind of sense. The musk is not musky. Okay. It doesn't go through phases. It sits there and it's pretty much as you sprayed it to what it eventually finishes with. But what happens is, and this is how it's so niche, every now and then one of the notes becomes a little bit freer from the mix, if you like, and it comes up and you'll get, I don't know, a little bit of orange, or sometimes you feel another sort of white floral. Can't always name the different white florals, but a different floral comes to the surface. And then sometimes the tuberose, that sort of banana tuberose, is the main player. What I will say is, after about 2 hours, it almost becomes a rubbery sort of scent. Am I selling this to you? Okay, stay with me. The overall vibe is an incredibly weird but very well blended floral fragrance with tuberose leading the way. So I'm going to put before you a couple of thoughts. It's not a blind buy. It's not for everyone. It is very unisex, in my personal opinion, with a slight masculine lean to it, because it's not ridiculously sweet, because it's kind of tangy floral, bitter floral. That's why I say it lends itself to a male fragrance. I probably haven't sold you this one, have I? Okay. Maybe it's just a guilty pleasure. Maybe it's something where I'm just trying to enjoy something which is just off the beaten track, not the most popular. Maybe, alright, I'm going to put it to you. Please go and sample it. Don't just write it off. Don't just say, oh no, it's too floral, it's got to be for a woman. Please don't do that. Give it a try. You may just like me go, you know what? I love this fragrance. The performance will blow your pants right off your backside. And the smell, once you understand it, once you've dealt with it, seriously, this is a fragrance to be reckoned with. Okay, I'm not telling you to go out and buy it, please don't. In fact, whenever I do a review, just seriously, I'm giving you a recommendation. I'm not telling you to go and buy something. That is your own personal choice. I try and describe the smell and the performance, and then you can make your own choices. So please, this one, please just don't go out and buy it straight away. Okay, I really appreciate you coming to this channel. I appreciate this is a long review, and I appreciate the fact that you've hopefully stayed with me all the way through this review, and that you're also considering a cheeky old thumbs up, and that you're also considering that maybe Leggy could be right about off the beaten track sort of fragrances, and maybe fragrances which a lot of people just go, it's for a woman. Try it, guys. Trust me, you will get some crazy good results. But let me tell you, the most important thing with a fragrance like this is to spray it, point your chin in the direction of travel, and confidently go. Just before I go there, I need to thank you for everything. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for everything. I really appreciate it here on this channel. You know what? I'm a crazy random guy, and I really appreciate everything that you've done for me. So thank you very much. I'm going to love you and leave you now, but before I go, you've got to promise me you're going to stay safe. Promise me you'll come back for the next review. And most importantly, promise me, guarantee me please, that you will put a good fragrance on every day and enjoy it. Good night and goodbye.